Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before. Imagine tuning into real-time discussions, expert analyses, and fan interactions all at your fingertips. Each platform offers a unique experience, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. We're not just sharing stories, we're creating a community of passionate sports enthusiasts. Join us as we dive deep into the evolution of podcasting, where every episode is a chance to engage, debate, and celebrate the world of sports. This is where your voice matters and the game never stops. Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before, where sports passion meets podcasting brilliance. I'm Mike, the Bear fan, and alongside Bill, the Packer fan, and our buddy Ken Catalone, we're bringing you an incredible lineup of 38 diverse podcasters. Each one brings their unique flavor to the table, covering everything from game analysis to behind-the-scenes stories. Imagine diving deep into the minds of experts who live and breathe football, sharing insights that you won't find anywhere else.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to WCFL DolFans Talk. Hope everyone's having a good morning this morning. Let me go ahead and bring on my co-host, Mr. Dolphin Winters. What's going on, Winters?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Papa Paul. What's going on, man? I'm here, brother. What's good with you?
Oh, same old, same old. Shout out to Ryan AP and Kenshawn.
Sean, what's going on? What's going on, everybody? What's up, Ryan?
Let's see if we can hear Mr. Johnny O yet. Good morning, Johnny.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah,
there we go. For some reason, when you send a link in the group chat, it won't work right.
Huh?
Yeah.
It's weird. So, good morning, everybody. How are you?
Wonderful.
What's going on, Johnny O? One more week before the cruise, I see.
Yeah, I leave Friday, land in West Palm about 8:45, 9 o'clock, and then Sunday morning at 11, we'll be boarding the ship.
Hey,
Sounds
I
like
just
fun.
want everybody to have a safe travels, and enjoy yourselves. That's all.
What do you know? What players are going to be on there?
The only one I know for sure is Sean Wooden, him and his family. Other than that, I don't think anybody else is coming. We're just hanging out with all the fans.
Okay. Kenshawn is Sharif. What's up, Sharif?
What's up, Sharif?
What's up, Sharif? What's good,
He's
man?
using his other phone, his incognito phone. Good morning, Scotty. Thank you for joining us.
The heck?
So what are we talking about today, gentlemen? We talking about
the only thing to talk about is free agents we've signed.
Well, what about our new
the free agents that got away?
What about our new what is it?
The reason why we signed Eichenberg back, like, where can we go with this show? Trust me.
Oh, I don't even Eichenberg. It's not even worth talking about.
What the fuck? No, he's another one that has some blackmail on the Miami Dolphins organization of some sort. Because I don't understand.
There's one thing.
Eichenberg, don't disrespect the damn.
I'm not being. I'm not going to be negative about it. I'm not being positive about it. The only good thing about Eichenberg is that he's been healthy.
Yeah, healthy and laying on the field. What the fuck, man? You guys have been to every home game. You guys have seen Eichenberg in action. So you guys know, y'all know, I'm not understanding that at all.
Listen, they signed him just to be a body. Whether he makes the team or not after the draft and camp, we'll see.
He's gonna make the team. You know why he's gonna make the team? Because of experience and veteran leadership. That's why he's gonna make the team.
Well, I mean, we've all seen experience and veteran leadership get cut before.
Yeah, well, this is the Miami Dolphins. Remember that, Paul. Remember that.
I understand, and we are diehard DolFans, and
You know, we listen. We have seen this story before.
yeah, we have.
Oh shit.
But what about what about that new whatchamacallit, supervisor or personnel advisor or whatever? That was the assistant GM of the.
Yeah, I don't know much about him. So.
The one thing I could say with him used to be an assistant GM and he's coming in as a personnel advisor. What's up, Sharif?
What's up, Sharif?
Hey, good morning, everyone. Testing, testing. Am I okay with the mic?
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
Good.
Great, great. Good morning to everyone.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, Scotty says Champ will replace Greer by week 8. That's what I'm saying is the guy with them bringing him from an assistant role to a personnel advisor position. It puts Greer on a hot sheet, really. What do you think about that, Sharif?
What was the question? I might have been in the background coming in.
The gentleman Champ that was an assistant GM at the Raiders, I think, or Texans, one of the two, and he's now a personnel advisor or something like that for Miami. Does that put Greer on the hot seat?
No. I think when you talk about the relationships with Stephen Ross and Chris Greer, you could look at the Mickey Harrison, Pat Riley, Spoelstra. I think it's gonna take a lot for a guy like Greer to be exiled, or it's probably not gonna be like we're gonna just leave on terms, because this guy his father has been involved with Stephen Ross. He has been involved for over 16 years. So a guy like this is probably going to go off into the sunset, and probably just the title is probably going to be removed. You know what I mean? But he will go off into the sunset probably as an all-time Dolphin. He probably would never leave. But this kid coming in, this Kelly kid, I don't see him as a threat, because once again, if you look at a Spoelstra situation, Spoelstra probably would be moved into the GM role with Alonzo Mourning 10 years from now. So that's how I see Chris's relationship with Stephen Ross.
What's up, Eric?
What's up, Eric? How are you, brother?
Good morning. Hey, what's going on there? Good morning.
What's up? Yo, I'm gonna apologize to y'all because last time I was on the show, I was actually out eating and eating with my son and my nephew, and my phone died on y'all. So
it's all good.
Really, he's like, I don't want to hear. He's like, I don't want to hear y'all no more. That's exactly what it was.
No,
like,
it ain't nothing like that. Man, listen, I love coming on y'all show. Yeah. I love coming on your show. It's just, I mean, like I said, it was what it was.
Well, Scotty says Greer is going to be transitioned into Ross's other enterprises. He will always be with Ross, but his move out of football operations has already started.
I'd be surprised if that's true. I mean, it could be, but I don't see it.
People are
So how
putting
you
too much
doing this
stock
morning,
into this.
Eric?
He hired this man. He hired this man. So here's the thing. Everybody's putting a lot of stock in. Oh, did he hire his replacement? No, he did not hire his replacement. That's just what it is. He hired an advisor. So he didn't hire his replacement, folks. Greer is not going anywhere anytime soon. Like everybody wants Greer or Tua or whoever. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. That's just what it is. Let's like get through the draft first. Like, ain't nobody getting fired on the off season. Nobody's position is getting moved. Just calm down.
Mm. I don't know what y'all
Now, what I
talking
will
about, man.
say,
What's going on?
what I will say is this: I see a lot of interesting things going on, and fans are very intelligent. They watch replays, and so fans are irked at Eichenberg. And what I'm trying to say is fans are very intelligent nowadays when it comes to the physicality of the trenches, A gaps, B gaps. From the pandemic to now, fans have gotten knowledgeable. And so what I think when it comes down to what the Dolphins have done in free agency, and this is my outlook on what I've seen in the free agency in 3 years now covering the draft, um, I think the Dolphins are making room to get for me, the way I see it, they're gonna double down on defensive tackles in the draft because it's very deep, number one. And then number two, if a guy like Omenura is there, Eamon Wari is there. I can see them getting him at safety, and then all of a sudden he's with Ifan, and then the kid from the Jets that we got, and all of a sudden now you have a good safety backfield. So if you get a safety in the top 4 rounds, I mean in the top three picks, and you get, let's say, a guy like let me see here, they got Abdul Carter, they got maybe a guy like Kenneth Grant. I see Walter Nolan. So if you were to get your hands on a guy like a Walter Nolan or a Kenneth Grant, then he can side right up with Tyler. And so the Dolphins are intentionally, in my mind, not addressing certain things so they can double down on it and be free to go after it and not feel ashamed. That's good because if you get the Eamon Wari kid safety, he jumps right in. If you get the Kenneth Grant or you get a Walter Nolan, this kid steps right in and you don't feel bad with the first 2 picks. And even a stud like Byron, if the kid Will Johnson is gone and Travis Hunter is gone, you still got a kid Byron there for you at 13. And so the Dolphins have plummeted areas like guard and tackle, but they've intentionally gotten one tight end because I think there's a tight end in Michigan, and Hunter, uh, I forgot the kid's name, and the kid from Texas, Gunner. These kids can be there for you even before a Mason Taylor or a Jackson Hawes, who's one of the best blocking tight ends coming out. So I think that GM Chris Greer is going in this direction so he can be free to flood the draft and finish his positions with
Uh,
starters. By the way,
you sound like you from the school of Howie, where you building nothing but a young group of lions, and they don't know how to follow just yet in the pride. Because we did the same
I could tell you one
exactly
thing:
what you saying is exactly what Howie Roseman did.
if
We got rid
Jaheed
of.
Campbell is there at 48, and you get yourself a Demetrius Knight in the late fifth, or maybe even fourth round, now you got a Jaheed Campbell to go along with Brooks, or you got a Knight who's going to compete with a Dodson. Dude, your linebacking crew is good, and this is because you went in free agency and you attack certain positions, so you can go freely after a linebacker in the third or the fifth round.
Are y'all doing this? Are y'all doing this because of the money, or y'all doing this because you actually trying to build?
We got holes. We got a whole bunch of holes like Swiss cheese, bro. That's what it comes down
A
to.
bunch
And
of
I
holes, bro.
agree with Scotty. Scotty said, no, Ryan AP said it perfectly. He said, "Are we simply filling empty slots, or are we competing for a championship?" Because he said these moves, in my opinion, don't equal competing for a championship. I fully agree 100%. I do.
Well, I
I
can.
Good
Well,
morning,
really
I
do.
can.
Russell Hartman.
For
Good
people
morning,
who are
gentlemen.
What's up,
doubting,
Russell?
good morning. Good
What's up,
morning,
Russell?
Russell.
What's going on, fellas?
How you
You
doing
good,
this morning,
Sharif? Go ahead,
Russell?
man.
I'm good. How are you, Paul?
Good, good. Go ahead and finish up, Sharif.
No, I was just saying, if you were to do something like this, right? What you're counting on is the Walter Nolan to step in with Siler right away. You're depending on a Shaheed Campbell to step in right away with Brooks. Or and if I forgot the offensive tackle, Wimbu, or I forgot his name. Excuse me.
Somebody said
But
Wimble.
Armand Membo, if he somehow drops to 48, he can step right in and battle Daniels, the opposite guard. Then like Eichenberg becomes Jesse Davis. So I think with you have freedom now to put starters in the draft on the side of these guys right away.
Mm.
Yeah, we're definitely going to need 3 or 4 guys that are going to be starters immediately. We don't have the cap space or the room to be able to go out and sign too many people. So you're right. We got to find guys in the draft that can come in and start right away and learn as they go and get better as the year goes on.
So you guys again, you guys are taking the same book that Howie took, where we put all of our stock on the offensive side, meaning paying for AJ and Devontae and everybody else. I'm an Eagles fan, so I'm totally outside of it. I was just listening to what the brother was saying, and now you're trying to build the other side, the defensive side, with the draft and different free agents that you ain't got to pay that much for. It's almost like a hit squad type deal, because that's what we got going on here in Philadelphia. All of the old guys, how we made a decision to not sign all of our old guys like we did the Super Bowl year after, keeping Fletcher Cox and all those other guys around, because it wasted time and it wasted money, because this a young man's game at the end of the day when it's all said and done. So you go heavy with the talent on the offensive side, but like your friend was saying, like the brother was saying, defensively, you can have a bunch of um, ragtag, kick ass and take names guys, and you ain't even really got to keep them around after their contracts run out in their first couple of years, because you really don't get you don't really get a serious contract until your second year in the league. Well, yeah, your second time around in the league. So yeah, he's saying the right thing. Y'all doing what y'all supposed to do.
And the thing
Yeah,
is,
but the
you
personnel that we're
you can
picking
get
up
this.
is the personnel.
Sorry, go
Yeah, the
ahead.
person. I just think the personnel that we're picking up. Like I've always said this, and I've already said this. I'm not expecting us to pick up a whole bunch of big names. I'm not expecting that at all. But there are people that we had out there that were their agents were waiting. Like their agents were waiting for the Dolphins to call them, and did the Dolphins call them? No. and
Mm,
and that's where I think the anger of the fans come from. Like, are you guys trying to really build this team to win a championship or win a playoff game, or y'all just sitting there just filling in holes and say, okay, well, we'll just sit there and see what we got, and that's it. And that's exactly what it looked like. Sharif said earlier in the beginning of the show, the Miami Dolphin fans and or football fans in plural are smarter, are definitely smarter from yesteryear. And they're getting tired of the bullshit, and they start to call out the GMs in the front office for moves that they should have fucking made.
mm.
And to defend Greer and the organization a bit, what they're counting on is they're counting on the Jimmy Butler effect, the LeBron effect, the Patrick Mahomes effect, and that's gonna have to come from Tyreek. Tyreek is gonna have to have a big game in the Super Bowl for us, and they're counting on that so hard to the fact that what the gentleman just said, we can pack down on defense. We can right now have a starting safety from the same safety, Muanwari. You can have a Walter Nolan. He's on the side of Silo. Muanwari, he's on the side of the Ifan 2 guy from Detroit. You could automatically get Membo. He's on the side of Daniels. You got your two guards. You could even now step in and get. You can now waste a pick on a defensive end in the fourth pick if you were to get those three in line. It was right there. Starter, starter, starter. And now Siler can have a new salt and pepper. Because I'm telling you right now, Walter Nolan ain't coming to play. He's sideline to
Russell, what you
sideline.
think this
And so,
The Dolphins, honestly, in their first 4 picks, they have to hit 3 starters right away. There can't be no Cam Smiths. There can't be no Channing Tindalls. There can't be no misses. At 13, the Dolphins honestly need someone who's going to step and play right away. I understand, like a lot of the fan base wants the shiny new toy, but we need physicality. And if the Dolphins are smart, they should draft Booker, the god from Bama, either Stocks or Emin, the 2 safeties. One's from Georgia, the other one's from South Carolina. And if the guys that you don't want aren't available, a trade down to add more picks, but not trade too far down. Because for years, we've made trades and we've ended up with guys that aren't producing. So we definitely, just because we added a couple of guys on the offensive line doesn't mean our line has been addressed. We got a guy coming off of an Achilles injury who's going to be good if he's healthy. You brought Eichelberg back as a rotational guy. So the way our line's been, we've always had an injury on our line. So he'll be back in there. And it's like, the same status quo. And like Saul said earlier, fans ain't stupid. I've been a fan of the Dolphins since 1970. And there is no way you're going to tell me that we haven't won the free agency battle every year. We're the Super Bowl champs of free agency, and they've all been busts.
I'm glad you just said that, because I was going to ask, is this a result of the players or is this the result of y'all leadership?
The funny thing is, not to cut anybody off.
No, you good. I just want you to answer that question.
Look at the last 5 or so years with the Dolphins. We've always been the king of our trade or free agency. We grabbed Tyreek. Okay, that's fine. But we gave up a boatload of picks. We signed Ndamukong Suh. How'd that work out? We signed Brent Jones for the Cowboys. How did that work out? We alienated guys on the team by going outside of the team. We signed Brent Jones for more money than the guy that led the league in interceptions, Xavier Howard. So right there, you caused dissension on your own guys. Okay, so you brought in a new guy to upset the old guys. We've never said to ourselves, let's build our team in a physical mentality and stay with the youth movement. In the last 4 years, look who we've traded away. We traded away Minka Fitzpatrick. How'd that work out? Pro Bowler. We got rid of the kid Igbandani. He wasn't that great in our system, but because maybe certain guys don't fit, you can't put a square into a rectangle. Certain guys, certain guys don't fit in certain systems. If you listen to people talk, everybody wants the shiny toy. I've listened to so many people say, "Oh, we should draft the tight end. We should draft the tight end. We should draft the running back." Okay, now let's see. You draft the tight end Warren. So let's say hypothetically. Don't you already have a good tight end? You got Jonnu Smith. He does what Warren does. You also were saying, oh, let's draft the running back. How many running backs do you need? You got A-Chain. You got Wright, who you traded up 5 rounds to get, who didn't really get to play much. You had healthy scratches of certain guys. The Dolphins' whole mentality is we're a track team. We're a finesse team. They have to get away from that mindset because there are teams in the AFC. Just pick one out of your head that you think we could beat. You think we could beat Baltimore? You think we can beat Pittsburgh? Do you think we can beat Buffalo? Do you think we can beat Kansas City? Oh, yeah, maybe early in the year in Miami.
No, and no.
And the reason being is our mentality is a finesse team. We have the fastest team, but we're not running for Olympic gold medalists in the 400.
And also the record shows Tua is 1-17 in that 1 win against Dallas a couple of years ago. 1-17. Has nothing to do with weather or about footballs. He's 1-17. So you either have to be more physical, or he's gonna have a worse record this year, and they're probably gonna move off him.
Well, the thing too is, this is another thing people don't understand. You're not moving off Tua for at least 2+ years, or you're going to have the most major dead cap problem in the history of football. Number one, you got to build around the kid. If you think this guy is going to sit around and be precise and hit passes all day long, then you're putting more emphasis on him getting hurt. If you build up the offensive line, you're physical, you take that pressure off of him. You run the ball more. That's just my opinion. Anybody can jump in and say what they want.
No, I agree. I mean, it's
Yeah,
this finesse stuff is not winning. Philly proved it in the Super Bowl. Defensive line and offensive line won that Super Bowl for Philly, and they destroyed Kansas City. So I mean, you got to build the trenches. People say that all the time. We say it. The talking heads on TV say it, but it's true. If you don't have trenches, if you don't have an offensive line to give your quarterback time to move and look, and he's done. If you don't have a defensive line that can put pressure on the opposing quarterback, you're done. I mean, you've got to start in the trenches and build that up and be solid. Philly proved it.
Yep, physicality means a lot, and you need physicality in all aspects of the game, especially in November, December. Russell said it many a times. We've been Super Bowl champions in September and October. As soon as November 1st hit, and my brother Eric said it. He said when them leaves change, that's when football really starts. So with that being said, until we get out of this mindset of finesse, screen happy, passing on 3rd and 1, once we get out of that fucking mentality and start pounding the ball down teams' throats, then I'll be honest, we're going to be right at square one again.
It happens only because, like I said, if we don't hit on our first 3 of our first 4 picks, and I heard the gentleman earlier saying about Walter Nolan from Mississippi, and then there was Iminwari from South Carolina. These guys may not sound like
from Texas.
Yeah.
That could be your first pick. That could be your first pick.
I say, like I said, it's just my opinion. At 13, you have to stay in the trenches. You have to go offensive line. You have to go.
You could do all of that, but if your coach
who will be there
to take that route
at 13?
Who will be there at 13? I'm looking at it right now.
I'm saying at 13, you could go Tyler Booker from Alabama. You could if Mbu falls, probably not to 13. If Mbu falls,
well,
from
Kelvin
Missouri,
Banks is gone, right?
If Banks is gone, I'm saying if the 3 most needed positions on your offensive line, I'm saying it's got to be Booker, Banks, or Mbu. If them guys are gone, then you have to think about
Will Campbell?
Nah, Will Campbell's LSU. He's
not
good
that high for you.
Nah, I'm saying he's a good player, but you want physicality. I don't want a finesse guy.
Josh Simmons, like I said, from Ohio State,
coming off a torn ACL. Nope.
Okay.
Not at 13.
Cool. Well, if at 13,
I'm saying if hypothetically those 3 guys are gone, you trade back a few spots. Papa Paul had said it 2 shows ago. He would trade back to accumulate picks. We actually lost the pick without even drafting because the NFL made a mistake.
Well, so we didn't actually, Russell. We didn't lose a pick. We were excited. We got an extra one, but
they made a mistake.
Yeah, we weren't supposed to be getting that one anyway.
Pick.
Yeah,
it was the second. But Scotty, I want to mention this, Scotty. All right, if I'm thinking the context, what I'm thinking is I'm using Chris Greer's strategy. You got Borum, right? You got Daniels, right? You only got 1 physical tight end, and you intentionally got that. You got Davis, and you got a Fatani from Detroit. So that tells me if you get an Imuwari at safety in your second pick, and you get a Byron with your first 13th pick, you've already got a starter on 2 ends. Now let's continue. If, let's say a Walter Nolan or a Kenneth Grant or a Alfred Collins is there for your 3rd pick. Guess what? That's another sauce. That's a new salt and pepper for Sila. Guess what? We're not even done yet. If you have a Jaheed Campbell with your 4th pick, right? He's right there with Brooks. That's your 4th starter, sir. We ain't done yet. If you go down and fall down further, I'm just trying to give you an idea. If you go with what Chris Greer is already loaded up on, he's given himself the freedom to do these things. You agree? You agree?
Chris Greer,
Because
I'm not too
he's
happy about
hoping
his.
on Borum, he's hoping on Daniels. Why are you then thinking go anything close to offensive line in your first 3 picks?
Okay,
You've
first
already
of all,
got Borum and Daniels.
okay,
right?
well, you got Daniels coming off of an Achilles injury. That's
We
number
don't
one.
care about that. That's what Greer does. He's
Okay,
banking on something, Scotty.
what Greer does and what Greer actually needs to happen are two different things. They just
Okay.
hired Champ Bailey. Not Champ Bailey, Champ, whatever his last name is,
Kelly.
from the Raiders. Yeah, Champ Kelly to be the senior vice president of drafting and whatever. Okay, that's all a get out plan because he knows if he's going to leave, he got a younger person to step in. Ross ain't going to fire anybody unless it goes off the rails quick. He won't say, well, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone. He's not like that. Ross is a businessman. He's got so many interests outside of the Dolphins. That's why he's bringing in people to buy shares in the Dolphins. It's the playboy mentality with that guy. That's number one. Number two, you got Borum from Chicago, who's a human turnstile. You ever been to Disney World and you push the thing?
Well, this is
That's
the
what he
freedom
is.
that he's given himself, Scotty. All we're saying is where are
He
the GMs
can
in the
block a
office?
stop sign.
We're in the war room in draft day, right? We've given ourselves by acquiring 2 players at this position and bringing back Eichenberg. We've now given ourselves the freedom to attack a Byron from Texas, starting corner, Imuwari from Ole Miss,
Amawari's a
starting
safety.
safety,
Yep.
right? Starting safety.
But you started two. You just
Immediately,
signed 2 safeties.
right, but that doesn't matter now. You have a starter to go with the Ifandi kid from Detroit, right? You aren't done yet. If a Walter Nolan or a Kenneth Grant or Alfred Collins is there, you got your salt and pepper for Siler. We're not done yet. You now have a Jahid Campbell who falls to you with your 4th pick. Now you got your starter for Brooks. You got your 2 physical guys. You're talking about a guy who's fast, but he's exactly like a Landon Roberts, but only thing he can cover. You're talking about a stopgap middle linebacker. I'm not done yet.
Okay,
now,
go ahead.
you want starters. See, but you have to give yourself the freedom by getting Borum and Daniels in order to have the freedom to go and address these things and not feel ashamed. That's all I'm saying.
And those are all valid points. So you honestly think Jahad Campbell is going to last 4 rounds to our 4th pick or our 3rd pick? You really believe that?
I think he'll be there in the third round because
No
linebacker isn't that deep at all in this draft.
Yeah, but there are teams that are linebacker needy. There's teams like the Atlanta Falcons. There's other teams that are going to surprise you. We can sit and say
this is a good problem because there's so much other good players ahead of linebackers. That's going to be a good problem for the Dolphins.
But you seem to forget who's making the picks for the Dolphins. You're not talking about a guy who's been proficient in making our picks. Hey, like my father used to say, that's what you would do,
well,
and that's what
Sharif gave you 4 starters, guys. Sharif gave you 4 starters in the first 4 rounds.
Yeah, but listen, the draft comes down to need, to want, to fill holes, and what other teams do before you get to pick.
Yep.
It's. I'm not a big, mock draft guy or talking about the draft a ton because there's always trades. There's always things that happen on draft day. Somebody falls that nobody thinks is going to fall. Somebody gets picked earlier than they think they're going to. So I'm the wait and see guy. Let's wait and see what they pick. See who we get. Then we could talk about him and say, all right, this kid's college career was this. This is how they did this. And I get it.
I'm sorry, John. Go ahead.
I get that, some people, they do like the mock drafts and looking over stuff, and they know a lot more about college football than I do, but I'm the wait and see guy. Let's wait and see who we pick, and then we can talk about them when we get them.
Yep. The funny thing too,
agree.
John, it's interesting. A lot of mock drafts, you go on, oh, he ran this, he did this. How many people do vertical jumps? This ain't the NBA. You're not grabbing a rebound.
Well, I say that about the combine all the time. Yeah, I'm not big into their vertical and horizontal jumps. When do you do that in the game? The speed factor I understand, but you got to remember, they're running these times. They don't have a stitch of pad on. They're wearing shorts and a T-shirt.
And it's conditions, it's moment, it's speed. Those are all fine when you're running in T-shirt and shorts.
Yeah, it's controlled conditions. You're indoors. There's no rain. There's no cold. There's no wind.
Yep.
You know, I'd rather watch the film on the kid and see how they played on the field during different conditions than worry about the goddamn combine.
And that's how I could compare Jaheed Campbell to Elandon Roberts, because when I looked at his film, well, he's getting his nose in there, getting off guards and centers, and busting up plays, and that's what we need.
Yeah, see, I'm a film guy. I don't care about the combine. I don't care about any of that. That to me, that's just a horse and pony show. I mean, it's it's.
I'm going to say there's going to
And
be
you got thousands of kids that play college football, and they invite 300.
Yep.
Was Zach Thomas invited to the combine?
Nope.
And ended up in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I mean, a 5th round draft pick.
You know, the funny thing, John, is a lot of people are jumping through rings because they've seen Imawari run the fastest time. But look at his tape. South Carolina compared to Stocks at Georgia. Just look at the tape.
Xavier Watts.
Listen,
Xavier Watts can be a Hamilton type.
Another good one. Yep, he's another good one.
I don't care about their
like
damn 40 time. I care about their football, their footwork when the ball is snapped.
Yep. You know who I used to love for the Dolphins that people slept on? Jeremiah Bell. What a safety he was.
I loved him. I love Jeremiah.
Because you know what it was? There are certain guys with certain temperaments that belong playing football. There are guys that, I'm a first round pick and blah, 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 blah. You know, I argued with this guy. He's saying about, why didn't the Dolphins sign Kareem Hunt? Well, let's take that into context. Kareem Hunt is a physical runner, sure. But you got to take into account his off the field antics. This guy was getting in trouble in Cleveland and in Kansas City. What do you think he'd be doing in Miami? With his more distractions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People don't realize that everybody was up in arms about signing Alexander Mattson. Well, that guy runs physical. 2 years ago, him and Cook were feature backs off and on for the Vikings. See, that guy played well. He's a physical runner. That's what we need. We need that guy on 3rd and 1. Not, we're going to throw a bubble screen to Tyreek, or here comes the tight end pass. No, you got to punch somebody in the mouth and knock him off the ball. That's why I'm saying Booker would be the perfect plug and play. He'll be a Pro Bowler, guarantee. Guarantee. Because you need that guy that's going to knock you off the ball, and that's nasty, and that's going to, that side of the line, you're set. Not like, we got the human turnstile in. Guess what? Hey, buy your tickets for the ride, because that's all he does. Lets everybody go. Look at his tape.
Okay.
Look at his tape
So,
for the
Scotty,
band.
okay, Scotty. So what we're going to do here
That's
is...
Russ. His name's Russell.
His name is Russell. His name is Russell.
Oh, Russell?
Yeah, you keep calling me Scotty. I thought I was on Star Trek.
Sorry about that, Russell.
That's okay, brother. That's okay.
So I think we have 13.1 million left. All right.
Hopefully they bring back Campbell
for the rookies. Right, 8 million is for the rookies when we draft them. We have already addressed 3 positions: Eichenberg, Borum, and Daniels. And you're saying if Walker from Alabama falls to us, get him. So I mean, now Booker from Alabama, the guard. So how does that sound right there?
It sounds great because you're gonna have a starter. Eichenberg's not a starter anymore.
So okay, now I'm gonna ask you, the GM who made this decision after you drafted Booker.
Yep.
Why did we get Borum and bring back Eichenberg and get Daniels from Steelers?
Because you have 2 guard positions.
Waste that money. That's
not
dumb within itself. You see how dumb that sounds, Russell?
No, it doesn't sound dumb.
It's best that you just never even sign them and then get Booker, right? So we can use that money.
No, because you need depth. I mean, look at our offensive line last year. What we have 13 different starting line in 17 games.
Okay, let's put it this way: if we draft Booker, right? You have Daniels and Booker as your 2 guards. You have Borum as your backup tackle. You have Austin Jackson as one of your starters. We don't know what's up with Armstead yet. And you have Paul. So if Armstead retires, you got Paul and Jackson as your starting tackles. You'd have Booker and Daniels as your guards and your center. Now what? You got Borum as a rotational guy. You got Eichenberg as a rotational guy. What's wrong with that? Explain that one to me. How do you explain that you don't take Booker and you go draft a player that, we'll say we drafted Imawari. You signed 2 safeties in a free agency.
You still have Win though. Win is on the spot track. Win is on the team. So Win, you have Win.
Wynn's not re-signed.
Wynn's
He's not
a free
re-signed?
agent. No,
He's not
a free
re-signed
agent.
yet.
So you have Wynn's a free agent.
Okay.
You have Kendall
still on
Land's
the
now
spot
talking
track.
about he wants to come back. He's a free agent. I'm saying you're going to have 2 physical guards, Daniels and Booker. You already have a great center. He played great at center last year for us, Brewer. Then you'd have either Paul or Armstead at left tackle and Austin Jackson at right tackle. Tell me what's wrong with that program. So now
if
you address
Armstead comes
both.
back,
Then you have Paul as a
what if I-
rotational tackle. You got Paul.
Then I
Armstead
kick him inside, right? Because
No,
Larry
you
talks
can't.
so
No,
well
you
about
no.
winning.
Nope,
No, you
Paul
can't
cannot
move
play
him inside. His footwork is not good enough to be a guard.
Nope. And the funny part
Then
is
you kick then you kick Austin Jackson inside
Oh, you can't do that
because
either.
he did.
No, because
My
that's to
thing
his
is you have to have
blind
the
side.
best 5.
Nope, you can't do that either. Now, okay, well, say what you said. We kick Austin Jackson
If
inside.
Armstead comes back, I'm saying you got Pro Bowl for 10 games, right? But if that means you got to do the thing which you did with Ajayi, right? You have the best 5 on the field. You're able to kick Laramie to the left guard, and in this case, you kick Austin Jackson into right guard. He's already a right side guy, and then you let Patrick Paul play on the right tackle, and then boom, you go from there.
He
That's
can't
what I
play
would
right
do.
tackle because if that was the case, he would have been
you
playing
got
right
to
tackle
learn.
when
I'm
Jackson got
tired of
hurt.
this. You can't. I'm tired of this. You can't. Bro,
Listen.
how the hell do you stay in the NFL? You go
He's a
there, you block.
He's a 6'8" left tackle. If he was a right
then I
tackle, he
don't
would have been
need you.
drafted and started at right tackle. What do you mean
Then
you don't need him? You drafted him second round.
I don't need you. I kicked Austin in already. I can do it again. That's
Okay,
all
so
I'm
you're
saying.
gonna put
I'll do it again to get the best 5 because
I understand
Armstead is
that.
coming back
You think Paul right now is one of our best 5? With if we drafted
at
Booker?
right tackle.
No way. He can't. He has bad foot movement. So you want to put a guy with bad foot movement as your right tackle to protect to his blind side? Is that what you're saying?
No, Paul is ready to go at right tackle. He's ready now.
No, he's not.
No,
Because if he
saying
was, he would have been in there with Austin
inside.
Jackson.
You want a starting guard.
Listen.
Starting guard. I'm kicking Austin Jackson into right guard for you. Daniels is at left guard, Brewer at center, and Tehran's coming back. You trying to create something where we quadruple down on a position, bro? We need that money elsewhere.
Now, what money are you talking about when a rookie is a salary
I'm
cap?
kicking in your right guard. Do you agree with that right guard? Because I'm putting
not at all.
right tackle.
No, not at all.
Okay, that's what I would do. Okay,
and I'm
so
not
you would
knocking
go
you
and
for
blow
what
the
you're going
whole
to do.
cap on offensive linemen, 28 million. You would agree to just go all out with the 28 million on O-line because you want to.
No, I'm saying
we need players. We have 49 players under contract.
Oh, okay. The smart thing to do is you're saying, and I'm not knocking you because you're entitled to your opinion. You're gonna move a guy, a left tackle, to the right side who has bad footwork.
In the efforts of saving money, Russell.
Okay, so in the efforts of saving money, you get your quarterback killed, and then we're back to square one again.
A 6'6" right guard and a 6'7" right tackle.
He can't play guard because if he could play guard, they would have put him in that guard.
I need to see you fail. I need to see you fail.
Oh,
I want to fail
if you move Paul to right
games.
tackle, he's failing.
Guaranteed. When Austin Jackson got hurt, why didn't they move Paul to right tackle then? Because he got hurt after week 3 or 4. They didn't do it because they know he can't play
coming
the position.
back. You're not going to take Tehran's job.
I'm saying this past previous season when Austin Jackson got hurt, why didn't they kick Paul out to right tackle when it happened? Because he can't play right tackle. They're not going to put the history of Tua's injuries in the hand of a guy with bad footwork. It's not saying that he can't get better, but he can't play right tackle. He's a left tackle. What Armstead did was a great thing by taking less money. He's probably in most mindset saying, I'll probably go now. Dependent. He might want to come back. Fine. But if he does come back, he guarantee he's going to miss like 7 games. So Patrick Paul slips right back into left tackle. You still have an issue. If you look at Dolphins pressures last year, where did the pressure come from? Most of the pressure came from up the middle. So you're talking the 2 guard positions. Okay, what
Notice I'm
position
not even
Eichenberg?
talking about him.
God, yeah,
But
there's no need
that's
to
my
talk about
dream
him.
situation.
He's a
Because I
rotation guy.
saw it. See, Russell, I saw it with Albert. You remember Brandon Albert?
Yeah, of course. But
Guess who was
Brandon Albert
kicked
was a Pro
inside?
Bowler.
But guess who was kicked inside because of him, right? Another
Yep,
Pro Bowler who will go to the Hall of Fame, Laramie. And guess who was
yep.
kicked? Jamie Nails was on the other side. So my thing is, I want the best five. I don't care
Yep.
about fans thinking he won't be able to do. You give me the 6'6", 6'7" right tackle. You give me a 6'6" guard, athletic, who's able to get upfield. You give me Brewer. You give me Daniels, and you give me Tehran. Those are 6 physical guys. I don't care if you
Okay, but
learn
you
through it.
see, okay, this is now you're
So
going to
we're
the
going to
90s
disagree
and you're
on
talking
that.
about.
But
No, I'm not
I would
saying
say the
you're.
second half of free agency would probably be able to answer some of your questions with
Well, the
at
free
guard.
agency is, like I said, we
Because
can sit here till we're blue in the face. I mean, I respect you. I don't know you from Adam, and you're entitled to your opinion. I'm just saying, common sense wise, that if you go and say, hey, Patrick Paul, we're going to put you at right tackle. So you're saying to the Dolphins, he's a second round pick. He was drafted as a left tackle, which he played at the University of Houston. Everybody can be versatile. I understand that. But there are limitations to certain people. Certain people have to be, like I had said earlier, you can't put a
then it'll be
square
a bust
into a
for me.
circle.
For me, that'll be a bust. Yeah.
Well,
No,
then what
If you
happens
listen,
can't
they
is
do
drafted
that,
him as a left
you'll be a
tackle. How
bust
can he
for
be a
me.
bust?
that's not going to be a bust because we know that Armstead's not playing 17 games. That's guaranteed.
No.
So this kid's going to eventually, if hypothetically Armstead says, I'm going to retire now. Because my father used to always say, if you get the R in your head, you know it's happening. When you hear that word retirement, it's hard to get it out of your head. You can sit there and say whatever you want, but it's
And
the whole work
and
process and everything
I
that goes
agree.
with it.
Everybody
I
in the
like
comments, this
Armstead.
is a dream situation for Sharif. This is not gonna happen. I'm just saying, like I would do this because I seen
Oh, and I
Jay
respect
Ajayi
you, my
run through
brother.
big holes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen Jay Ajayi run through big holes
Yeah,
with big
but you know the
physical
funny thing is
guys,
you
and I
keep going back to the 90s in the early 2000s with
no,
Jay
because they
Ajayi,
kicked the guys in that you said could not do it, and they did it.
but that's a different
Albert played
role,
left tackle, sir. He was old, a Hall of Famer. Guess who
and that's
kicked
what I'm
it?
saying. He was
I
on
do I
his
have to
last
explain this
legs.
again?
You don't have to
I
explain it. I
don't.
hear
So
well.
to me, I
I've been
want
inside the
physical,
doc.
big guys in there.
Yeah,
That's all I'm
I
saying.
understand. Hey, you know what my father used to say? Wish in one hand, shit in the other. See which one fills up first. Because you know the funny thing is, the Dolphins have for years. I've been inside in film study. I've been inside the locker room. I've been around Pro Bowlers. I've been around guys who say I can't do that. And I'm not going to pull out names because it's disrespectful. But I know certain players play certain roles. And what I'm saying is Eichenberg is a rotational guy now. He played center. He played a little guard. He played a little tackle because of injuries. Normally, when a team drafts, they draft for need and position. They didn't draft Patrick Paul to play rotational tackle. They drafted Patrick Paul as a left tackle. And when they drafted him, if you remember what they said is he'll be Tehran Armstead's understudy and he'll take over when he retires in a year or two. We're at the year or two. So now you have to
And to
address
me,
the
yeah,
inner part of your line. Brewer's he was a
yes.
god, but he played center in college. So he was
Right.
easily moved to center. Everybody forgets, remember who our center was the year before? He was a Pro Bowler. But he
Yep.
played center
Before he
at
tore his
Texas.
ACL,
And
MCL.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep. He played center at Texas. He played tackle. So he was a rotation. He was comfortable in it. You're talking about a guy who's played left tackle his whole high school and college career, and now he's in the NFL. And you're going to say, hey, go to right tackle with bad
And
feet.
I get it. Yeah, it's your
Yeah,
whole
it's not
left
disrespectful
side.
of
You're gonna
you.
change
You're,
around. Mhm.
we have to get
You
both
got to
guards
change your
straightened
whole
out.
left side to right, and you got to lean and get your right knee down, and it's a whole new
It's
different way of
different. Hey,
protecting.
that's like,
It's
hey,
just a
you
whole
ever
new
face somebody
different.
that throws left-handed? It's weird
Mm,
because it's not comfortable.
mm.
So that's what I'm
Your
saying. You have
jab
to
and
put,
your run blocking, everything has to change.
yep.
Yeah.
We're going to be a good team providing, like I said, we have to hit on 3 of the first 4 picks. I respect your
Mm.
decisions on what you want to do, and that's fine. I'm not knocking you in any way.
I
I'm
can tell you
saying,
now, Austin Jackson, if he's able to do that, and they do some crazy thing like do that, He's special enough to do that at guard, right guard.
Well,
And he's already a
Austin
right
is,
side
but
guy.
Paul's not.
He's special. No, Paul is not probably.
You
No,
have to
But
protect.
so
You have to protect Tua's blind side, and if you moved Austin inside, you better have a very good goddamn player playing right tackle.
Yep.
'Cause that's Tua's
yeah,
blind side,
Agreed.
and we don't need to be seeing our second and third string quarterbacks all year because Tua's getting whacked from the blind side.
Yep. And the key to
I'm
it,
not
like
even
I
gonna
said,
say Borum is gonna be that right tackle. I'm not
hey,
even gonna
listen,
say
I'm
that.
telling you right now, Borum could
Because
block a
that would
stop
put
sign.
Paul back on the bench.
Just hey, you
And I
want to
don't want
laugh?
Paul on the
Hey, do you
bench.
want to laugh? Just pull up the Chicago Bears Borum tapes. There's a reason why Caleb Williams is sacked that much. And this is a mobile guy.
Yeah.
Tua's not a mobile guy. Borum is if he has to play a game or he has to play a few series, that type of guy. He's not the type of guy that
I,
will help you push people off the ball. And no. I'm
and
saying
I can tell you right now, there's a chance that Membo, or there's a chance that this kid falls to us. Will not
Will
either Will
Campbell.
Campbell or even a Banks, because listen, if Travis Hunter and Shador goes, somebody's gonna go to Cam Ward. And I'm telling you right now, Abdul
I
Carter is
think
gonna be
Cam
gone.
Ward's
There's
going to be
gonna be
drafted early in the first 3 picks. Cam Ward's going to be in the first 3
you
picks.
talk Pierce is probably gonna be gone, then you got Terrio McMillan, the best wide receiver, Shador. You're talking about 9 to 10 guys who are gonna be, and everyone is gonna be fighting after that. You
I
possibly
think, like I
Matthew
said, if
Golden gone, Will
push,
Campbell. We're gonna have so much players at our leisure at 13 that I believe you can trade down to 19 and get 2 more picks. That
like I
there's gonna
said,
be players on the board.
Papa Paul did
Go
say we
ahead.
could trade back, which is not a problem. But I'm saying if the position comes up that you definitely need on your board, and you have like I said, whether you have a Campbell, whether it's a Booker, like John said, you have to address your needs. And we may not get the shiny toy like everybody wants, but you have to address your needs. The Dolphins' issue for the last 15 years has been physicality. And if you don't change that narrative, you're going to continue along the path of being a finesse team, and you're not going to do anything but, you're going to look great in September when it's hot. You're going to look good under October. And then when them leaves turn brown in November, heading towards Thanksgiving, we're going to be back at this whole story again. Well,
Good
why
point.
didn't we do this? How come we didn't do that? I live in Massachusetts. It gets cold early sometimes. This year wasn't a bad winter. We had 2 storms. They weren't major. But these Patriot fans, they're the worst. If you're a Dolphin fan in Massachusetts, man, that's like being a Democrat in Mississippi. It ain't gonna work. But you gotta do the things that gonna benefit your team. You can't do the things that because we want to have blah blah blah. We need physicality. Till the Dolphins change that narrative
If
where you can't knock people off the ball and you have to throw on 3rd and 1s and 3rd and shorts or 4th and short, you're
right,
throwing the ball.
right.
We're not going to win.
Yep.
I don't care who we draft that on the offensive side, but you have to be physical.
So Russell, if you get Will Campbell, right, you move him to right tackle, right? Immediately. If Will Campbell falls to us from LSU, now you got your dream situation, right? You can kick Austin Jackson, who never got hurt playing guard, by the way, guys. He's only got hurt playing tackle. So if you do that, you move Austin Jackson into right tackle. You got Will Campbell as your right guard. You got Will Campbell as your white tackle. Daniels guard. Brewer center. Armstead comes back. You're big and physical in there, I'm telling you. And now you got Eichenberg off the bench and Paul ready to take over when Armstead is hurt. That's a dream situation, guys.
Campbell is a good tackle, but he's a finesse tackle.
That's
He's
a
not
dream
a
situation.
physical power tackle. We already got
Well,
a
I'm
good
telling
tackle
you,
in Jackson.
if you remember now, Russell, if Jackson is taking care of his guy, guess what gets easier for the other guy? That's all we need. We're not asking. You can't have Pro Bowlers all over the place.
No,
Russ.
but you have to have sturdy guys. So what you're gonna say is a proven NFL right tackle, Jackson, gonna move him to right guard, and you're gonna put a rookie to block the blind side of Tua.
Who will help who? I think Austin is gonna help Will more.
But do you want to change that when you
Exactly
already
my
know
point.
the guy at right tackle is a proven
I'm
right
only trying to
tackle?
help your situation. I'm just trying to. You see
I
what I'm saying?
understand,
I
and
just
you have a lot of good, valid points. But just think about this: our pressures, where our quarterback was always sacked, was through the guard positions up the
you
middle. So
you're
you're going
not
to
gonna
move a
come to
proven right
Austin. That's
tackle.
why I'm helping you. You think you're gonna just run
Austin
up
is a
to
better
Austin?
right tackle than a right guard. That's just my opinion. You
Okay.
know, I mean, I'm not saying you're
I'm
wrong, but I
just
would
saying
rather have a right
you
tackle
won't
who's
run up
already
the middle
proven to
on
protect Tua.
Daniels and Jackson. I don't think you're gonna run
Okay,
through those
guys.
guys.
We're coming to the end of the show. Anything else to talk about before we go call it a day?
Well, I think that Russell is concerned about the statements that Greer has made. Oh, y'all are worried more about it, and obviously, I'm me watching the all 22s. All I see is Eichenberg on the ground, and all I see is guys trying to help Eichenberg get blow up, and they're trying to help things that he should have done. I get what Russell is coming at, but to me, I think that Greer is doing some things so he could address other things in the draft. And I don't think you just continue to load up on the position, and you have already wasted over 14 million on the position.
I'll say this: I'm not impressed by Greer's drafting, and I'm not concerned about his drafting because I know he'll do something that's totally off the wall. I just say that we should draft physicality, whether it's right guard, left guard, the defensive tackle. We definitely need to fortify our offensive line, or we're going to be at this November 1st talking about, remember when this or remember when that, because Tua will be hurt. God forbid, but everybody can say, I don't matter who your quarterback is. If people are just running through the middle of your line, whether it's the left guard or the right guard, and he has no time to throw, he's not the most mobile guy in the world. He's pinpoint accuracy. Everything's on timing. I say Booker, Membu, or Banks, because if you notice and you remember some of the Dolphins stuff, they asked guys that were tackles, could you play guard? The only one that said he would play guard was who? Banks. So, I mean, we'll see. I'm not saying, but wouldn't you rather have a guy that's a natural guard, that's a plug and play, or you want somebody to switch from a position to have to learn to play it? That's all I'm saying. I mean, I respect you. I like your points. And like I said, we have to hit on 3 of our first 4 picks, and 3 of them have to be immediate type starter type guys. Not, well, in 4 years he'll be good. No, we don't need that. We need 3 plug and play type guys.
Okay.
I agree with that.
I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone watching us, listening to us, Facebook, YouTube, Huddle Sports Network. We got to call it a day. Y'all have a wonderful rest of the weekend and be safe out there. Peace, love, and fins up, everybody.
Fins up, fellas. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yep.
Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before. Imagine tuning in to real-time discussions, expert analyses, and fan interactions all at your fingertips. Each platform offers a unique experience, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. We're not just sharing stories, we're creating a community of passionate sports enthusiasts. Join us as we dive deep into the evolution of podcasting, where every episode is a chance to engage, debate, and celebrate the world of sports. This is where your voice matters and the game never stops. Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before, where sports passion meets podcasting brilliance. I'm Mike, the Bear fan, and alongside Bill, the Packer fan, and our buddy Ken Catalone, we're bringing you an incredible lineup of 38 diverse podcasters. Each one brings their unique flavor to the table, covering everything from game analysis to behind-the-scenes stories. Imagine diving deep into the minds of experts who live